Royal Roads, we always acknowledge the lands that we are on. So Royal Roads University acknowledges that we are located on the traditional lands of the Kosepsum and the Lekwungen ancestors and families. And we're really grateful to be able to do the work that we do now, and where the past, present, and future of Indigenous and non-Indigenous students, faculty, and staff come together. And I'm working from home as well. I'm on the lands of the Cowichan peoples. And again, just want to take this moment to really acknowledge where we all are joining in from today. So today we are going to be talking about our undergraduate programs we have in the School of Tourism and Hospitality Management. So my name is Christy. I'm an education advisor at the university, but I am so thrilled to be joined today by Moira McDonald, who is the program head for our BA in International Hotel Management program, and also with Dr. Brian White, who's the program head for our BA in Global Tourism Management. So we'll be digging into both of those programs today and what they look like. So to go through our agenda, if you haven't introduced yourself already, feel free to type away in the chat box and let us know where you're joining. And just looking at it now, we have folks from Edmonton, Toronto, Sri Lanka, Hawaii. So wow, really global audience here today. It's great to see you all. We're also joined by a few other wonderful folks behind the scenes. So we have Rhonda White from our enrollment team who will be helping us out in the chat box. And we also have Emera Angus, who will be joining as some tech backup support. So if you have any issues with the technology today, we can help you troubleshoot via the chat box. So for the rest of the agenda, we'll be going through a brief overview of the Royal Roads University experience, then digging into the program-specific information, application requirements, and of course, we want to answer your questions all throughout the presentation today. So again, feel free to use that chat box, and chances are, if you're thinking of a question, somebody else in the room is thinking of the same question too, so don't be shy about that. Alrighty, so to dig through some of the values we have at Royal Roads University, the first one here is first names first. So we offer a very personalized experience at Royal Roads with relatively small class sizes compared to many larger institutions. So you never have that experience of being one student in the sea of a large auditorium. It's always a really great relationship that you get to build with your professors, with your classmates, and as well anybody else you communicate with at the university, whether that's our financial aid team, our student services team, anything like that. It's always on a first names first basis. Next we have here is Learn Together Forever. So this is a reference to our cohort model we have at Royal Roads in many of our programs. So this means that you start your program with a group of people and you continue with them throughout the whole process, and then you graduate with them. So this creates an amazing network that you can draw on both personally and professionally, far beyond when you're actually graduated from the program. And I'm actually an alumni of the university as well from a different program, and I can definitely say this is one of my favorite parts of the learning experience at Royal Roads, is just the different people that you get to learn with in the process and learn from. So third on here is life is also an education. So at Royal Roads, we really take a look at who you are holistically and what sorts of life experiences you have in general beyond just what your transcript says. So we'll dig into how that comes into play in one way in our flexible admissions model as we get into the presentation some more. But we definitely would love to know who you are in terms of your professional experience and education, obviously, but also things like volunteer. Do you have a family? Have you traveled the world? Like anything like that, any conferences you've attended. We love to know who you are and how that contributes to the program. And lastly here, our real world classroom. So we want everything that you learn in our programs to be applicable to your career today and what's happening in the industry today. And whoever is teaching you in our program, our wonderful faculty, also has very relevant real world experience in the industry, either work related and or research related. So that means that what you are learning is going to be applicable today and right when you're out of the gate of the program. And a little snapshot of our beautiful campus. So we haven't been here for many months, but we are thrilled in September to actually be bringing back on-campus classes. So we can dig into that a little bit more along the presentation, but we're thrilled to be able to welcome people back, our wonderful students, especially since it's been so long, but of course we're watching the public health orders and everything like that as we go along. So on the top left-hand corner here, we have Hatley Castle, and that is a main focal point in the middle of our campus. It was built in the early 1900s. And today it's used for events and classes. It's a working building with our staff keeping it very busy, and as well as used for film projects and things like that, which is very cool. On the top right-hand corner, you can see the Japanese gardens. So right adjacent to the castle, we have a whole network of interconnected manicured gardens for you to explore. So the Japanese gardens is just one of them, but we also have the Italian gardens, we have the rose gardens, croquet lawns. So there's lots of beautiful places just right close to the castle for you to really explore. And on the bottom left-hand corner is the Esquimalt Lagoons. So we're also right on the water there, which you can kind of see as well right behind the castle. So this is another wonderful spot for you to check out. It's a bird sanctuary. So if you are a nature lover, this is going to be a great place for you to pay a visit to. And as well, just nature in general. There's lots of trails and forest land for you to explore as well. You can kind of see around the castle. There's lots of trees. So we're on over 500 acres of old growth forest, which is a really wonderful feature to the campus and something that makes it a very tranquil and beautiful place. So the bottom right-hand corner is just a bit of an ode to the fact that we have been doing online learning for 25 years. So this has been a part of who we are since the inception of Royal Roads, and it's made us very, very good at being able to adapt to what the pandemic and everything has thrown our way, as far as being able to translate that learning experience online and be able to have it back in person as well. And we are in Ashoka U Changemaker campus. So this is a designation that has been given to a select number of institutions, and we're very, very proud of it. It means that the type of education that we provide is very entrepreneurial, it's very interdisciplinary, it's very solutions oriented. So that is the type of learning that you can expect us to infuse throughout all of our programs. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to you, Moira, I believe, to take it away with why you should study tourism management and hospitality at Royal Roads.
Thank you, Christy. You're so smooth. I just feel like I'm in my living room having a chat with you all. I feel so connected with you already. I just jumped up and grabbed a postcard that I got from one of my students from Sri Lanka. So I was just like, I was just reading this yesterday from the student, and Hawaii. I went there to stay with my friend who was the GM of the Fairmont on the Big Island. I know Eugene, who I'd like to introduce as well. Dr. Eugene Tomlinson's on our call today, and he's also very well researched in Hawaii. There he is, and he'll be probably chatting with us a little later about some of the international opportunities in our programs. You know, I think it was Dennis, who is in Ontario, and I'm from Ontario as well. So I came out here to do my master's degree, and to do a graduate studies after being in the hotel industry. Yeah, it's gorgeous in Hawaii. I love that Fairmont. You can follow me on LinkedIn and see the hospitality career that took me a lot of places. And at one point, I just thought I would take care of my education a little more, and I signed up for this place called Royal Roads. And I started that in 2012. And then in 2016, I moved here to work and haven't left. This has just been a beautiful place to learn and to make friends and to work alongside some of the most powerful hospitality and tourism leaders in BC that I have ever worked with across Canada, and certainly into the United States. So why study this? Well, I appreciate all of you taking your time today to come and hear from us. So thank you for that. The industry went through resilience, recovery, renewal, all of the words that are being used right now. And I think that this is the time when you will see your education go to work. There's been attrition in the industry where folks have decided not to go back in their management roles. And we see that right now with our students who are in other internships, which we'll talk about a little later. And they're getting experience in supervisory and management roles very early on now because of that vacuum that's been created. This is an industry that can change communities. It's an industry that makes a difference in a community. In my graduate studies, I looked at community-based tourism. In the hospitality industry, you will have an opportunity to show your education through your academic work, the rigor that you would do academically, and the research opportunities you would have, and the actual applied learning where we help you get into the community and meet people, network, and do some great work. And we are very much an experiential learning place, and that's what hospitality and tourism, it's making friends and it's connecting with people and changing lives. So this is a transferable skill set that you'd be getting in this program, and I'm very excited to meet all of you today and to have these conversations. So thank you for that, Christy. I think I'm going to pass it over to Brian, who's going to talk about the degrees, the type of our classes, and some projects that we work on. Dr. White?
Thank you very much. Hello, everybody. It's a real pleasure to be here, and also to hear the wide range of places that people are presently located in. My experience overlaps very much with Moira. I think that the experiential element of this program is absolutely critical. And not only that, Royal Roads offers a sequence of learning and opportunities all the way from the diploma level, all the way through to master's level, and on into the doctoral level as well. So I've been here now since 15 years, I think. Before this, I was at Capilano University, and my background is actually in small community-based tourism, adventure and ecotourism. And also, I've had 30 years experience as a consultant. So I think you're going to find, as Moira has previously indicated, that there's a lot of experience and capabilities, not only in our core faculty, but in our associate faculty, people who are working full-time and coming to teach one or two specialized courses that can give you tremendous experience, which applies immediately you finish and come out. An applied degree, what does that mean? Applied degree means that what you're learning is based on immediate evidence-based information, research which is evidence-based, and also on direct personal experience. One of the things that we have here, because of the fact we have relatively small size classes, or medium-sized classes, is the capacity to get out of the classroom and go out and look around and get direct experience. In British Columbia, we have a very, very strong educational experience in hospitality and tourism, and we also have a very, very strong tourism industry. It's recognized around the world as a leader. So that combination is an essential element of what you learn when you're at Royal Roads. You've got the capacity to go out to destinations like Whistler Resort and Tofino and Vancouver and other places within relatively easy reach and learn directly from the experiences there that you're going to encounter. And also you're going to learn from the graduates who are already out there, not only in the destinations and the hotels and resorts, but also in the government. So we have people teaching for us who were previously the chief executive officer for Destination BC, Rod Harris, for example. So you learn about this. The next thing which is critical about the program is the team projects. Team projects are a fundamental part of what we do, not only in our school, but at Royal Roads in general. The capacity to cooperate and learn together with a team is an essential leadership capability. And it's something we really stress and really focus on. It's something that is basic to the DNA of Royal Roads University. So you really want to understand that. It's very, very critical. So that collaborativeness, that sense of working together, the sense of accomplishment when you produce something which is exceptional and which contributes to the overall learning of the whole community that you're part of, in whatever degree level you're at, That is really a significant component of what Royal Roads has to offer. It's very, very important. So team projects, yeah, you bet. The level of competition that you might have seen in other educational institutions doesn't tend to exist here. You've got a situation in which everyone works together on team projects, as well as working individually on your own particular focus. And of course, we try to encourage and support the special interests that you might bring to the program, because everyone has a particular idea about where they're going and how they're going to get there. And we're here to support that and help with that. Career development. Well, Moira's mentioned this before, but we'll get into a little bit later on as well. We have a linkage to people all the way over all kinds of different applications within hospitality and tourism. My linkages go back almost 50 years, okay? Because I'm getting older, right? So when I was at Capilano University, a lot of my previous students are now retired, right? I'm still going for some reason. So one of the things that you have there is a sense of how the industry has evolved internationally and domestically. You get a sense of the sequences, and you get a sense also of a different perspective on going forward out of the pandemic and what's likely to happen next. So there's a certain amount of capacity for understanding based on long-term experience over several decades in the field of tourism. Okay, that's something that I can bring to the table, and which I share on a fairly regular basis. So career development is a big deal. Nobody necessarily is going to stay in a job for life. You're going to change around, and very often we provide support, letters of reference, and other supporting information and background to graduates who graduated some time ago. Finally, international opportunities. We have exchanges with a number of different programs in the Global Tourism Management Program. We have 2 students coming in from Germany this year who are going to be part of our program. In this case, it's going to be, they'll be online over this, but we're hoping that we'll be able to get as many people as we can in international going out and coming in and have them on campus as well. So we're looking at back on campus in September. The first couple of weeks, we're going to, at the undergraduate level, we're going to have it as online. So at the master's level, it'll be on campus as well. So if you take a look at where we're going, it's a very exciting time. We want to reintroduce the experiential element in the program. It's really essential in all our programs that we offer, and we're hoping that we're going to be able to carry on and be part of the explosion of tourism activity that we're going to see coming up. Okay, I think I'm done on that one. So I think it's back to Moira.
Brian, and I'm glad you're still here too. So I don't care if your friends are retired, you're not allowed to. So there we go. We have a word that Brian used, and he talked about leadership a moment ago, and that's where the word management is in the degree. The degrees, and the leadership component is a heavy focus for us. So we have students in their undergraduate spaces that are here to learn, connect, network, make friends, get the academic rigor under their belt, do some research, and find folks that are interested in the research they might be interested in, and then we work together. And the leadership component, you really see people rise to those occasions. We have class reps and cohort model reps, folks that will help us bring opportunities to you, because the classroom rep is talking to and leading their friends in the class and their cohort. So there's a lot of opportunity for students to get experience with us that may not have had a robust experience in hospitality, but know that this is the kind of thing they might be interested in. They might know about their driving force is guest service, customer relations, changing their community, running events, sports festivals, and the recreation side of it. Or maybe you're a sales person. You understand that If you knock on 100 doors and no one wants to buy what you're selling, your answer would be, I'm going to knock on 100 more, because that's the sales mentality. So that marketing piece all ties together as well. We have a pretty robust time with you on human resources, so you know the labor code, you understand your rights as an employee, and you know what your obligations are as an employer, because you're a careerist. You're looking for an undergraduate degree that gets you a career. And 1 in 4 of you right now is taking the undergraduate degree and going on to graduate studies. So we have students who have taken that path as well. If you're looking at the career side, there's a slide on your screen. Those are our students in that picture, and they're just sitting outside our office. Actually, that's the Sherman Gen building where our school is housed on the West Campus. There's opportunities for you to find your best place today, your best place, get a good mentor, work with us in our internship programs, and you pick where you want to go with this design, and you can get very, very good at one of these areas very quickly. And Brian mentioned that when he was giving the overview, he mentioned our teaching team. Thanks, Rhonda. He mentioned our teaching team has a robust amount of experience. So, for example, in our programs, the general managers of hotels in BC and in Victoria teach you. They do their good work as a general manager or a highly placed executive, men and women in their field, and then they come to campus and they spend 3 hours a week with you and work through your courses. So that's just a really fantastic model that we have. So you can see some career opportunities here for you to take a look at. And then we try, as Brian mentioned, we try to take you out into the field and get experience and really take a look at it in the Canadian landscape, what's going on, and how that might benefit you. There's degree completion options, which I think is our next slide. And in this space, you have a few things that you can see. And I think, is there one more on pathways? Perfect. Thank you, Christy. So you can see that you would likely be joining us in year 3. You probably already have your college diploma, or flexible admissions, where you've got a lot of experience, and then we would look at you on a case-by-case basis. So you would join us in the 3rd year. You're a cohort model, so you'd be traveling around with 35 others that are going from class to class with you, or going from experience to experience. And then we help you with your internship. So we have a full course that gets you career ready, works on your resumes, some of the things you might have done in your previous year 1 or year 2 of your diploma, and then we ramp that up. We take a look at your LinkedIn space and we find out where you want to work, and then we help you with that. If any of you are on Instagram, if you're looking at Jasper or Banff this past week, they've been posting all of their photos of their new hires, and those photos are quite a few of our students. So that's very exciting for us to see. And one of the resorts here on the island just won another award, the Brentwood Bay Resort, and their general manager is a graduate from our master's program and hires many of our students, both in the kitchen and in the rooms division side of things. And they're in a nice photo on Instagram this week as well, demonstrating their award that they just won. So lots of opportunities with that internship. It's really that that opportunity to get in and see what you like, and also I think to see what you don't like. You know, if you have thought something was going to work for you and then you're in it and you're like, this isn't where I don't want to be in the culinary side, I want to be in the rooms division side. So it gives you an opportunity to look at that. We do some research with our employers and our students, and we are always evaluating and touching base and finding out what works. And you also have, you can take your internship between the 3rd year or at the end of the 4th year. And then with the big luxury brand properties, we also work with them on their mentorship and their leadership programs. So you can apply, for example, to be part of their leadership team with Fairmont or Accor or with Marriott, who puts these programs together and then comes and presents to you. And the demand is very high right now. They come and they present to you what they're looking for, and then you decide if you want to apply. And then the interviews are usually done on the spot at school. So there's lots of careerist pathways here as well as the graduate studies. So if you find that you're quite good academically and you're saying, you know what, I think I want to stay in school a little longer, then you take a look at those pathways to graduate studies. And that might be something you're interested in already. I have a student who's joining us in the 3rd year and is already charting that grad study route at the moment. So there's a few things there to look at. I wonder if maybe Eugene, if you have a moment, Dr. Tomlinson, maybe just to talk a little bit about your understanding of some of the pathways and some of the work you're doing in Latin America, and the opportunities that students might have for studying abroad if they're in Canada right now and they might want to go somewhere else for a semester. This be an opportunity for you to do that at the moment?
All right, Eugene, I think you should be able to unmute now. I just made you a co-host.
Thank you, Eugene.
Thanks. So, sorry, wanted to talk about different opportunities and where people are going, things like that. Well, I guess there's one of the first questions we quite often get asked about what's the difference between the IHM GTM program and a normal business degree is if you have that sort of business background, that business interest, then what we do in tourism and hospitality programs is we give it that flavor of the tourism and hospitality industry. So what are all the opportunities? So you're still doing the finance, you're still doing the marketing, you're still doing all of those different areas, but you're giving that sort of tourism and hospitality flair. And just as a very quick kind of talking about where people have come and gone to, I used to work for Parks Canada. So the national parks, national historic sites all across Canada. Then I worked for a while with the Canadian Tourism Commission, which is now called Destination Canada. So again, working with the marketing organizations for Canada and working on different research, essentially marketing Canada to the world. So the possibilities for you to go places with these degrees is kind of almost unlimited. And one of the things I wrote in the chat room was about the industry being in hibernation for the past 1.5 years or almost 2 years, but that it's awakening, and it's awakening with a lot of force. We were talking with somebody who was running the HR recruiting for Marriott for North America. And she was mentioning about businesses across North America, especially across the southern US, competing for employees. So it's big. The industry is really going, and it's going to grow quickly. One of the areas that and might be talking about a little bit later, one of the areas that our government is really focusing on right now is wanting to go into different markets. So they're really supporting tourism and hospitality and really supporting all of our students to look at kind of our untraditional partners, looking at Latin America, looking at parts of Asia that we haven't thought about before. So again, all of those sorts of areas are things that all of you can and should be thinking about for your future careers. So yes, there's lots of possibilities there. And we really encourage it in both of our undergraduate programs for you to think outside the box, for you to gain from the experience of others, to network, and to look at those various places that you can go to. So lots of opportunities for you with both of these degrees. Thanks, Moira.
Thanks, Eugene. And Eugene's been very humble on his contribution before joining Royal Road. Some of the work he's done is used to this day. to help companies figure out how they're doing in the eyes of the consumer. So thanks for that, Eugene. I appreciate it. There's a slide coming next that I'd like to chat about because I think you're getting a feel for the internship space. We also wanted to recognize our colleges. Coming from the college community myself, I get very excited about thinking about our students that can come from any of these colleges and transfer into the third year. Because I know it's a game changer for students who have their diploma to get their degree 2 years later. So in that 4 years, you've already got your diploma and now you're getting your degree. And I just think that doors just fly open when you get into these concepts, and we're very excited about that and work with the colleges. So if you see your college on here, or you see your community or your university, just know that right now these are the agreements we have in place, and we're always exploring new agreements as things come into our area of understanding. So is there anything else, Christy, you wanted to discuss about the transfer options? Because I can see students, when I'm looking at this, I see students that came from so many of them.
Yeah, I'll just add that if you don't see your school on this list too, don't count yourself out, because we can assess your previous credentials from other institutions as well, and to help you transfer in. But these are the institutions we have a block transfer agreement in. So it's a little bit quicker to just transfer you right into the programs. But yeah, other than that, I think you covered it, Moira.
Thank you so much. And then maybe I could just chat a little bit about our courses, and I'll hand that over to Brian for the next slide to talk about his global tourism management courses in brief, and then I'll talk briefly about the IHM courses, and then some applied learning that you might experience working with both of us. Brian, do you want to talk a little bit about your courses for a moment?
Sure. Okay, thanks a lot, Moira. The program that you see here has gone through pretty impressive evolution, as have all of the courses that which we offer in our school. If you take a look at the listing there, we've made changes over the last few weeks related just to the pandemic, but most importantly, there's a really strong focus on keeping all of the particular topics and subjects right up to date, and also grounding them as much as we can in experiential education and in real life experiences for the students. And that includes, by the way, some outstanding speakers, either face-to-face in the classroom or brought in over Zoom or something else. But the major thing is we want to make sure when you come through here, you get a really, really up-to-date, applicable, valuable kind of experience. And if you take a look at the evaluations we've got over the last many years, that's exactly what our students seem to see. So I'm just going to go through quickly some of the elements here. If you start at the top left, is selected topics. Well, what does that mean? Well, we find professors and leaders around the world who have a particularly interesting topic. Recently, we had a presentation from Nigel Morgan, who is the program head, a program head from the United Kingdom, and he gave an excellent course on hopeful tourism. So that's a very leading edge topic at the present time. So that was incredibly well received by the students that took it. It was very, very successful. If you look down, you can see trend-setting courses like globalization and tourism. That's a big one for right now. As you can imagine, the global changes have made a really substantial redistribution of the landscape of tourism and hospitality over the last little while. Event management, Moira mentioned this earlier on. The field school, what does that mean? Well, Eugene mentioned going to Mexico and having a partnership arrangement there. Well, that's a very big deal, making sure that people can get out of the regular classroom and go out and visit other places, not only domestically, or going up to Whistler or to Fino or somewhere else, or the Rockies, to visit hotels and the experience in Banff and so on. It's a matter that those are vivid, memorable experiences that everyone takes away. One of the things you want to do in a school is you want to have stories about your school, right? That's why the face-to-face is so important, because it gives you the chance to build those relationships. Lifetime friendships come out of the school, okay? And the occasional marriage as well, actually, I suspect. So if you take a look at the circumstances you're going through here, you're looking at building your relationships to carry you forward into your future careers and all the way through your life. So it's a lifelong learning experience. Research, essential, a very strongly focused thing. You know, Dr. Eugene teaches that course. Ethics and issues in tourism, multicultural management, career development, all of these things are very much focused and up to date and memorable. Things, you take the course, you remember it. That's a really important element in any education system. Product development, tourism policy and planning, taught by people who do this on a day-to-day basis. So that's a critical factor. Destination management and marketing, another situation where that's of course I teach, okay? And I've certainly done lots of work on that particular subject in consulting over the last several decades. Resource management, this is critical. We've talked about leadership, a very important element in the field, and it goes all the way through all of our courses in this program. Entrepreneurship, another outstanding element here. Financial management, it's a topic which has become terribly important. It's currently taught by Rod Harris, who's now the retired CEO of Destination BC. Strategic management, just to finish off with, in tourism and hospitality. All of these things have to do management, leadership, strategy, understanding, if you will, the critical evaluation and analysis factors that make for a good leader, plus the empathy and understanding of the people that you work with. Not only your staff, and also, most importantly, with the clients in tourism and hospitality. So what's tourism all about? Summarize, it's about telling and selling stories. And what we do here is create a place for stories to develop and build. And I think that's the case in both of our programs, in global tourism and in international hotel management. Over to you, Moira.
Thanks, Brian. I'm just waving at my dog going out the door. So working from home has its advantages. So thanks, Brian. That was great. I want to take your course. But instead, I'm going to ask everyone to look at mine. So this is the BA in International Hotel Management. And I won't go through each of the courses in the interest of time, and making sure that your questions are getting answered in the chat as well. However, we have a very robust relationship with our associate faculty who take you through these journeys. There's a few courses where you'll have artifacts at the end. So in our finance course, you'll actually be doing a feasibility study for a hotel down at the Inner Harbor. And I think, Ben, you said you were in Victoria, so you'll know where that area is. You go to that area, look at the footprint of the possible hotel, and work within the finance course to see what would be feasible if there would be a hotel there. So that ends up being a little artifact for you to show employers at the end and to work with. We also add some certifications so that if you're going to do your revenue and yield management course, we aim to give you an opportunity to take your certified hospitality industry analytics certification. Some of you may already have the CHIA analytics certification now. It's built into part of our course to work with you on that. We're looking at those opportunities, for example, in digital communications and global business. We want to help you get your Hootsuite certification if you don't already have it, and really tease out those opportunities for you to find where you're very good at it. Our sustainability in tourism and hospitality course, the instructor is a general manager of one of the downtown hotels, and she is very big on the research side, award-winning, and supports students through any of the conferences that come to town, and she helps profile students in that sustainability area also. if you wanted to Google, or or if someone wants to put it in the chat, the My Tax Research Award. We have a student this year who won I think that was a $6,000 award to work in that sustainable space, and she used that. She did a very full report and used that to help her get into graduate studies. So there's opportunities like that come along, and when you see a course like industry analysis, know that course you're out on foot, going with your instructor from business to business, boutique hotels in Vancouver, looking at Indigenous properties that are run by Indigenous leadership, very specific. So we're not just looking at the luxury brand properties, we're looking at other ways of accommodation so that you can understand so many opportunities. One of your instructors works with the provincial government and the local government in her work in her graduate studies, and she's now one of your instructors, is to talk about justice and the environment, and she protects grizzly bears. She was instrumental in putting an end to the trophy hunt. So there's some just really interesting people that are available to you. Again, the general managers of the executive leadership team, they really work closely with you in these courses. We run some simulators, like the strategy and action course is where you take control of a hotel. Some of you may have done that in your diploma programs. And then we really ramp up that analysis so that when you do get out there to do your internship, or you do look at your career, you will have found something really valuable in those spaces. I hope that gives you an overview. We're very in tune with our multicultural management course in communications. That course brings you to a table talk where we bring in industry leaders, talk about opportunities for anti-racism work in your multicultural management courses, looking at we have a dragon's den type of setup for you where you're competing with products and looking at the lens of your employees and through your own understanding and learning. So there's quite a lot here that you'll be coming away with, including a research methods course that has been added as well, so that if you do wish to go on to other areas, you will understand how to conduct safe and ethical research. Thank you. I think the next slide would be great. And then just the applied learning we talked about before, lots of opportunities for you to showcase. We have competitions. We have Young Hotelier Summit, which I think is on another slide coming up, where you can compete. And we took students to Switzerland to represent Royal Roads. 2 students participate in that competition, and then they compete and meet industry leaders from over 80 countries at Lausanne at the university in Switzerland. So hopefully that will not be virtual in the year ahead. It was virtual this year, and yet our students thoroughly enjoyed it, the 2 students that attended. Thank you. And just a picture of the conferences. These are our students attending some of the things that were going on before last year. So what's ahead is very exciting. So we're starting to see the face-to-face conferences return. And maybe you'll be someone who wants to apply to attend the Young Hotelier Summit in Switzerland. Out of classroom experiences, quite a lot going on here. Some of these pictures are orientations, some of them are event management where you participate and help lead, and the friendships that are growing along the way. And so that's a big focus for us as we introduce you to each other and you get a chance to make some lifelong friends. And I've seen now that our graduates are hiring our students. So what I see some faces on this picture that have graduated in the past couple of years, and they're hiring my students right now. So this is very exciting to see that full circle of the careerist coming back to the school saying, I'd like to hire your top students, send me some resumes. So that's very exciting for us to see. And those internships, where might they be? And on the next slide, you'll see some international exchange opportunities. So you'd be able to go abroad. Should you wish to take a semester abroad, we have opportunities for you as well. So these are really well aligned, and we have lots of details for you should you wish to do that in your 3rd or your 4th year of study. And we work closely with you on that to make it happen. And then we have students, as Brian mentioned earlier, coming here. I think we have 2 students from Germany on their way to Royal Roads to study with you. And you know, the partnerships are there where your internships could be. I think we have a map to show you next where all the opportunities might appear throughout. Oh, sorry, more opportunities for internships. Actually, can you just go back one, Christy? We just had 2 students who took advantage of Western Sydney University in Australia. That was a fairly new opportunity, and so students just completed that just before things started to get shut down. So they certainly enjoyed that. I'd love to see students go back there because it was a really good experience for my 2 international hotel management students. Thank you. And then the next one is just some pins and maps of where people have gone in both the GTM and the IHM program. So we try to keep track of where folks are going and explore where they want to go so we can help with those internships. What will you come away with in all of this? Fantastic 2 years to spend with us, or 3 if you're coming in to our 2nd year, or 4 if you're coming into our 1st year. You're going to have skills and knowledge. You're going to be able to critically think, problem solve, problem-based learning. We certainly work on that. We give you case studies and opportunities to meet people who are solving problems in their own hotel, in their own resort, in their own tourism area. And I think the leadership and the teamwork are 2 big pillars that you would definitely be coming away with. And as a careerist, I hope you will reach back and ask us to hire for hiring our students that we will have after you graduate. Thank you. I think these are just some photos that Brian and I wanted to share with you where our students are placed throughout. These are the GTM students. And the next one, I think, is the IHM students. So where they are throughout, actually that the Brentwood Bay ward I was telling you about a moment ago, that bottom left-hand photo is our student Kyra, so she's there at the moment. Alex in the middle, he won a big award in IHM in his graduating year and is still working at the Union Club. And then Akshay on the top left-hand corner, he went off, he did the Hotelier Summit, and then he has just promoted again to the waterfront. So lots of great stories here. And I don't know, Brian, if you want to speak to the slide just before it, and then I'll let you take us out to Christy.
Okay, thanks a lot. The situation we're getting right now, as we previously mentioned, is that we've got almost a real hold on placements. We're not looking at the situation in the BA-GTM or in the IHMN program. We're not looking at a situation of a limitation on getting a good job. I think you really need to just recognize that there's the explosion that's taking place is in a situation where many people who've worked domestically and internationally have taken other jobs. So there's a big gap in terms particularly of management positions or supervisory positions in both hotel and tourism activities. And I think you should recognize that. I've only been involved with the BA GTM for the last, since last year, of a short period of time. Before that, I was heading up the master's degree program, okay? So I don't know a lot of the circumstances of some of the earlier students because I wasn't here to get to know them well. I'm certainly getting to know the ones that we're here now, and I'm enjoying it very much. So what I'm suggesting is that the people that you see here are all launched in very, very effective careers. They're doing well. And looking back over the years, people who have come into tourism and hospitality tend to have a set of skills and competences that is very, very flexible. Tourism and hospitality are going in many different directions right now. And one of the things that we can support, and all these students are testaments to this, is the capacity to be very agile and effective learners. We're in a learning community. We're all learning all the time, whether faculty or staff or students or whoever it is. But the most important thing is you develop that agility to learn how to learn. And that's something that I think I want to stress particularly. And I see this with all of our graduates, undergraduate and graduate programs. They have that capacity. that real enthusiasm and curiosity. And it was built around experiential education in the internships and in the field trips and the face-to-face contacts, as well as doing the more academic work of studying out of online and textbooks. So that's something I would just want to finish off with. Now we can move on to the next presentation. Next slide.
Perfect. Thank you both, Moira and Brian, for providing that really great overview of the industry and the programs themselves. And now we're going to dig into the application process a little bit more. But I do want to take this time, if anybody has any questions, feel free to type them into the chat box for anything that you just heard. We did have one question that I actually don't know the answer to, but I'm putting it out there in case anyone else does, about how many students Royal Roads has in general each year. So Moira or Brian, I'm not sure if you have like a rough idea, or even Rhonda or Alana, if you have that stat off the top of your head.
In IHM, I have 98 students. If that's like from the second, third, and fourth year. So it can really be anywhere between 85 to 110. And right now we're in the 90s and applications. So we have a cohort that would be that size. The overall on campus, there's 10 undergraduate programs at Royal Roads from sciences. The science labs are just reopening actually next week. So science students in environmental sciences are coming back. So for the undergraduate programs, they're on campus, and they would each, have their own size of programs and their numbers of sections and cohort model. So there's 10 of those. And then of course the graduate studies, many graduate studies. And in our master's program right now, we have a waiting list for the master's program for on campus. So I think it's over 60 students right now. That doesn't include the students that were like me, who would just come for the residence and then go back home to my job in the master's program. So there might be some more specifics to share. And I think Brian's program is in the total in the 60s for the BA GTM over the 3-4 years rolling. And some of the students are in the second years that go into the GTM program as well. We're a big group, and we have our own building, and it's a lot of fun.
Great, thank you. That provides hopefully a lot of context to the question asker in the chat box here. That's perfect. So to continue along with the application process, again, feel free to type in any more questions if they do come up. But to start us off here, so we have standard admissions and flexible admissions. So I'll start off with the standard admissions. That would look like 2 years or 60 credits of post-secondary education in a university transfer or diploma program in areas such as hospitality, tourism, business administration, or an equivalent of that. A minimum B average, 24 of the credits at the second year level. Post-secondary financial accounting course with a minimum grade of a B, and that's for the international hotel management only. And then 400 hours of tourism and hospitality experience. And this is all reviewed on a case-by-case basis. And this is for the 3rd and 4th year entry there. Okay, I do see a question there that we'll actually cover in a few slides regarding the application deadlines. So we will get to that one. To go on to flexible admissions, if you don't quite fit into the box that we showed on the last slide there, I wouldn't worry too much. We also have other solutions for you. So definitely reach out to our enrollment teams if you are unsure about where you might fit in. So flexible admissions could look like considerable work experience in the hotel and tourism industry, preferably 5 to 7 years of mid to upper level professional experience, post-secondary financial accounting with a minimum of a B. And this is reviewed on a case-by-case basis again. So applicants coming through this stream would normally be required to take the academic writing and critical thinking course, which we have heard from lots of folks that this is a great course to take either way, especially if it's been a number of years since you've been out of the educational side of things, because it can be really great to have a refresher on all of the report writing, referencing, research, all of those types of things really set you up well to continue on into the program. So some key dates. This is the question we had in the chat box before. So actually, I realized there's a little bit of a update on this one. So the application deadline, I believe, is actually August 7th for this coming intake for September 7th, 2021. So you have until August 7th to get your applications in if you are wanting to start in September back on campus, or if you are looking into the next year after that, that would be September 12th, 2022, with the application deadline of June 12th, 2022. So I will make a note here, if you are applying as an international student, it is a great standard to apply up to 6 months in advance, just so you can get things together as far as your visa permits and things like that to be able to study on campus with us. So again, if you have any questions around timelines or anything like that, feel free to reach out to our enrollment team. So how to apply? So to start off the process, there's $126.28 application fee, and then there's some supporting documents to go with that. So there are official transcripts, so those need to arrive to us sealed from whichever institutions you have previously attended. So if you are curious to know what your grades have been, if you've been out of school for a few years, it's always great to get a second set mailed straight to you, because those ones do need to arrive sealed. Next on here is a detailed resume. So this can be quite a bit longer than a typical job application resume, I would say. This can be as lengthy as it needs to be to really communicate everything that you want us to know about your background and your eligibility for the program. So obviously including things like education and professional experience, but it can also like volunteer, any specific projects you want to mention, conference you've attended, feel free to share it there. And then to go with that is the personal statement. So this is a document where you can really map out your why and what makes you really want to delve into this program with us. And again, expanding on some of those points that you might have mentioned in your resume. And this will be especially an important piece if you would be considered more in that flexible admissions arena. And then lastly, 2 letters of reference. It's a good standard to have one of those come from a professional background and one from an educational background, but there is a little wiggle room on that, say if you've been out of school for a number of years or anything like that. And again, if those ones can be sent directly from whoever is referring you from their professional email address, preferably, so we can verify who they are and such. Moira or Brian, is there anything else that you would like to add on those types of documents and the personal statement or anything like that as far as what you would look for?
Thanks so much. If you're in this industry, it's for a reason. You're passionate about something, and just show that in your letter. And just tell us who you are, or what it is that makes you want to pursue this career. It could be a career that's going to transcend into other things, but what is your passion and what are your stories? Some students will apply and tell a story about something that was a game changer for them and why they wanted to be in the program. I know why I loved being on the front line of hospitality. I enjoyed every minute, every challenge, and there were lots of challenges. I love problem solving. I love leading. I loved helping and professionally developing others. So it was absolutely the place I knew I wanted to be. So put that type of, what is it about this that is interesting, or maybe it's a place for you to figure that out. And you're welcome to speak to that in your letter. So it's unique to you, I guess, is the word I would say.
Yeah, just thanks, Moira. Just adding on to that, one of the things you can see that my address is up there, my email address is on there. We can give you support and assistance and advice by email, or if you're not too far away, you can phone. But what I would suggest you want to do is to basically take a look at why. That why is really, really important. Some people may be coming in from a totally different kind of background. They may want to change their career. This is a very common situation that we face all the time. So we're suggesting that is a possibility. And we can, once again, I'd be happy to give anyone advice who wants to come into the BA Global Tourism Management and let you know what you can expect from the program, and also some advice on what the steps you should be taking to come into the programs.
Perfect. Thank you both for expanding on that point. A few final slides. I recognize we are at 1 o'clock, so we'll just motor through these last ones really quick. Financial aid is another really crucial part of planning your educational journey. So definitely reach out to our team and they can help you find any solutions or help you with your student loan processing and all of those types of things, any awards that are bursaries that you might be eligible for. It's a great resource for you. And then, as we've mentioned, we have a wonderful enrollment team. We have Alana and Rhonda who've been helping us out today. I think they've provided their emails in the chat box as well, but they are a wonderful resource for you to reach out to if you have any other questions. And with that, we are coming to the end of our presentation. Just being conscious of time, I think we will wrap it up here. And I believe most of the questions have been answered in the chat or verbally, but if we didn't get to your question, please feel free to reach out and contact us later on, and we're always here to help. So with that, I think we are ready to wrap up unless you have any final words before we head out, Brian or Moira.
Oh, thanks. I'd just like to thank you for hosting this and thank all of our participants for joining. And we look forward to seeing you in the programs. Thank you.
Thanks very much. Absolutely. If we can work together, it would be very exciting for us. So we're always looking forward to those opportunities, and our industry needs you, and the industry is certainly a place right now you can check out your leadership skills and your problem solving, and we can help you with that.
Perfect. Thank you so much to both of you for joining me today and providing all this wonderful information, and to our team behind the scenes, Rhonda and Alana and Amanda, and Eugene as well for joining us too. So thank you all, and we hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and we hope to see you in the program or reaching out to us soon, or even just visiting us on campus. We'd love to welcome you into the Royal Roads community. Have a great day.
Thank you.